Might as well start all my videos like this, man. I'm not gonna lie. Let me fix up a little bit. But now, real talk, quote of the day, start the video. The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid more than he does. Napoleon Hill. Right? So, honestly, today I'm just trying to talk about money. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not in like no flex way, not in no guru way. Honestly, just real life. You know, what I mean, I've been having money. I've attained money for quite a while now. You know, what I mean, at least since 18 years old. You know, what I mean, I didn't have a job in high school. My first job was actually at the end of my first year in college. Let's not even talk about that. That's another day. I ain't gonna lie to you because college was fire. I ain't gonna lie. First year that at least. You know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, nah. Today we're trying to talk about money and just like my journey, man. You know, with money. You know what I mean? 18. I'm 20 now. I'm turning 20 next week. You know what I'm trying to say? I just want to talk about my experience with money. So why not? You know what I'm trying to say? Um, First, when I started making money, man, honestly, that J. Cole bar from one of his tracks,
I got my first little taste of paper and I splurge. I guess it's just a nigga urge.
there's just a nigger urge. You know what I mean? There's just a nigger urge when you have the bread. When you first get bread, like, I don't know, man. A guy just wants to spend bread, wants to, like, he just wants to use it, you know what I mean? To fulfill his temptation, to fulfill his urge. And that's kind of what I was on. Although I was also saving along the way, but my main focus was also just kind of not splurging, but just fulfilling things I didn't have, you know, getting things I didn't have, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, it was fucked at the start. But I mean, when I started making money, I didn't really understand it. You know what I mean? I understood getting money, of course. You know what I mean? I had the job, I know what to do, I put in the work and all that. But I didn't understand keeping it. I'd get paid, I'd feel good, real good. I'd spend it. And I would tell myself, you know, it's all right. I got another paycheck coming, real talk. And it's probably going to be even more than the last paycheck prior, right? So I'm like, cool. 1100 to 1200, 1100 to 1400, cool. I'm still getting bread. You know what I mean? And that mindset felt harmless at first, but until I realized it's a compounding issue. You know what I mean? I like investing now, but at that point in time with my first job, I wasn't compounding the right way that you should, you know what I'm trying to say? I was compounding with spending. I had a big spending issue. I still do, but now it's less. But at that point in time, it was at an all-time high where it was just a compounding issue. It wasn't one big mistake. It was a small mistake repeated over and over again. You know, like every time I would spend money thinking I'm gonna make it back. I was building a habit, you know what I mean? A habit of letting money slip, you know what I mean? A habit of thinking money was endless just because I was young and I was working. And that became my downfall, you know, earlier on, not making money, but keeping it, you know what I mean? Because money was never really the problem. I can work, I can grind, I can earn. That's no problem at all. But the temptations, the feeling of wanting to reward yourself, the mindset of, I deserve this. That's what eats your pockets slowly. Fuck, man, that's what really does, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't see that at first. I didn't see how fast small purchases add up. You know what I mean? I didn't see how fast you can go from feeling rich on payday to feeling broke by the weekend or by the next month. You know what I'm trying to say? But lately, especially working my second full-time job, because I secured another warehouse job. You know, my first job was also Home Depot as well. You know, and for me, you know, no disrespect to, you know, whoever works at like retail or just fast food. You know what I mean? I have a guy that works at McDonald's. Been working there since high school. He moved up in rankings and he's blessed. You know what I'm trying to say? He's working another gig right now as well in the same field. But for me, for my first job, that could never be me. I was always one that tend to want to test my mindset, test my body, see what I can do physically. You know what I mean? I always liked physical work. I always liked hands-on shit. So that's why I got Home Depot first. And obviously that worked well for me. But now my second job right now, it was another warehouse job. Better pay, more hours. I was doing 16-hour days. I was like, yo, I can do this every day. And I did do it every day. Tiring, but you get used to it. And it changes your mindset over time. But that's later on. Let's go back. But with this summer, you know, things definitely changed. You know what I mean? I became more conscious, you know what I mean? More aware, you know what I mean? More intentional, you know what I mean? I'm an older guy now, you know what I mean? Man, I'm saying that like I'm an old nigga though. I'm only 20, but like older guy, like in terms of just like I'm not 18 no more. You know what I mean? I'm like fresh out of high school. You know what I'm trying to say, and I'm like well into college years. You know what I'm trying to say. So because of that, and because life gave me responsibilities, real responsibilities, older people responsibilities. You know what I mean? Rent, helping out in the crib. You know what I'm trying to say. I live with my folks, but I help with property tax. I help with groceries as much as I can. You know what I mean? School, bills, transportation, groceries, unexpected expenses for real, like a computer getting fixed, a phone getting fixed because it's fucking cracked. You know what I mean? All of that. And suddenly money just wasn't something I had, even with this job, because all those things happened at once. You know what I mean? I was saving, probably the best I have ever saved. But with all those unexpected expenses coming up and happening all at once, it fucked me up. And I started realizing that every dollar has a job. Every dollar has a purpose. Fuck, it's about to rain too. My goodness. That is crazy. But fuck it. Nevertheless, we keep going again, like I said. Yeah, man, literally every dollar has a purpose. And if you don't give your money a direction, it disappears. You know, I mean, working full time this summer honestly taught me something important. You can make a lot of money and still have nothing to show for it. And that's where I'm at right now. You know, I mean, I have a better understanding of money. Don't get it twisted. A better mindset and all that. I can get money. I know that. I have experience for knowing that. You know what I mean? I don't have no. I don't have a lot to show for it. You know what I mean? Not yet though. Not because I'm irresponsible, but because life is expensive, man. The day and age that we live in right now, man, it's hard to even get a job. And when you do, you know what I mean? Unless obviously, even if you're living with your folks, man, you gotta help out. You know what I mean? You gotta save as much as you can, but those are all, like, expenses are just gonna hit you like a fucking, like, bro, they're just gonna hit you, bro. Like, regardless of if you're staying with your folks, if you're staying by yourself, unexpected stuff is gonna happen, and you're just gonna have to pay a lot. You're gonna have to spend a lot. You know what I mean? And you know, uh, life is expensive right now, and I'm learning how to turn crumbs into bread while still handling everything life throws at me. But here's the part that matters: I'm not in the same place mentally. I'm not in the same place mentally that I was at 18. Back then, money was excitement. Still is excitement right now. Don't get it twisted. But right now money is strategy. Back then, I could spend because I could. Now I spend because I need to. I'm strategic now. I always tell my mom, and she always laughs at me, like, you know, when I say, yo, like, I gotta be strategic with my bread. You know what I mean? But I'm really being honest. I do gotta be strategic. You know what I mean? And like, now I spend because I need to. Back then, I thought money was freedom. Now I know, money is discipline. You know what I mean? I know discipline is freedom. And honestly, I'm proud of that growth. I'm proud that I'm seeing that in myself. You know what I mean? It's going to take a little more effort and a little more noticing and a little more time to fully understand it. But even if my bank account doesn't show it yet, the mindset is the foundation. My habits are becoming the foundation. My awareness is becoming the foundation. I'm learning to build slowly. I'm learning how to stack responsibly. I'm learning how to think long term. And I know by the time I'm like 25, I'm really just trying to be in a better place in life. You know what I'm trying to say? I really am. You know what I mean? Whether it's I'm still with my folks, whether I'm in another country by itself, whether I'm in the States because I do own a US passport. I am American by birth. But you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, man, I'm just trying to be in a completely different place financially. Not because I'm hoping, but because I'm changing. You know what I mean? And you would think with changing comes change. You would think with changing comes growth, improvement, you know what I mean? And that's what I want for myself. So this video, you know, I know it's a vent, but it isn't really about me being perfect with money, man. It's just about me being honest with my money, you know, kind of saying it to me, you know, to the screen, you know what I mean? Whoever sees this, I know I'm seeing it for the first time by myself, kind of just expressing this, you know what I mean? But it's about me being honest with money and about money, you know, it's about the mistakes, the lessons, the responsibilities, the growth, you know, and if you're young and you're going through the same shit and you're in school as well, and just if you're going through the same shit, like, just know it's normal, you know what I mean? And it's part of the process, I'll be real. No one who attains money right away knows what to do with it. You know what I mean? There's going to be a certain temptation. There's going to be a certain thing that you want to have that favors the actual thing that you have to do with the bread. You know what I mean? You're going to want to do something for you first. You know what I mean? But I could be bugging. Who knows? But I know better days are ahead. You know what I mean? And it gets better when you get intentional. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That was good talks. I'm not gonna lie. That was good. That was a good little talk.